Erik Kratz of Foul Territory. Follow him on social media at Erik Kratz31. Joins us. This is what we call in the business, Kratzy, an early call time, because you're out in Vegas, brother, for the BetMGM Aria Poker Classic. So you're up and at 'em here today, man.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, let's be honest. 8 o'clock ain't that early, unless you made some poor choices at the poker table last night and you stayed in too long. Like they tell you, like if you do good, you can win money, and then you go, wait a minute, there's a lot better people out here, way over my skis. So stayed up too late last night, but easy peasy this morning.
All right, so how is it going for the whole crew that's there for the poker tournament? Is anyone having success?
Down, thumbs down. Dylan Patansis, Dylan, I guess we can say kind of had success, bought back in. So I don't know if that really, like, everybody's first entry was out. Gary Sheffield came to dinner after he was the last one out, and he goes, I don't know. He said, Chef can't be playing poker that late without some extra food in him. So I need that poker stamina.
I can imagine. Is AJ out there too? I can imagine Przinski having a field day with this.
AJ is like, he's that guy. When he sat down at the table, he said everybody looked at him. He was like, I didn't pay anything. He's like, I'm going to take all of y'all's money. And the people at the table, he said nothing. So he was like, well, this is boring. So if you play poker with me, AJ Przinski, Todd Frazier when he comes out, Kevin Pillar, we had Andrew Jones, any of us, if you see us at the poker table, just talk and have a good time. That's all we want to do.
Well, we're going to talk and have a good time talking Major League Baseball here, Kratzy. We mentioned Cal Raleigh when Chris and I were talking today's card earlier on in the show, and he's having a great season, especially as a catcher, putting up the numbers that he is. Is there any shot that he's able to catch Aaron Judge for MVP this year?
Yeah, I mean, we actually, if you want to hear us talk about it even more, you can check out our show. We talked yesterday about it. The argument was that the first half, it's still Aaron Judge's award. Aaron Judge still won the award. So yesterday I looked at it, and BetMGM has plus 400 for Cal Raleigh to win the MVP. I love that kind of money because of the fact that we're going to see a historic season from a catcher. That's the biggest part. He's going to hit 50-plus home runs. Aaron Judge is probably going to hit 50-plus home runs. Aaron Judge is hitting 350-something right now. He was hitting 400 for most of the season. So it's two arguments. Aaron Judge is the MVP of the first half because of what he did. It was an incredible, historic first half, an OPS over 1,200. Then you look at what Cal Raleigh really doesn't even need to get hot to do. Just what he needs to sustain and continue to do. I will lock it in guaranteed if the Mariners catch the Astros, which right now the Astros look like the Astros that we know, Cal Raleigh wins the MVP. So at plus 400, I'm locking that in.
You worried at all about the Derby? I know we have this conversation every year about guys who are tearing the cover off the ball in the first half, maybe unexpectedly in some cases. They go to the Derby and then something happens to the swing or they wear themselves out. Are you worried about it in Cal's sake where, this isn't a guy who has a track record of this historic home run production? He goes to the Derby and maybe loses the swing a little bit?
I don't think anybody has a track record of historic home run production. But what people forget is Cal Raleigh was the fastest Mariner ever to, I think, for 70 or 75 home runs, and he beat Alex Rodriguez. So that's historic. The difference is he was a catcher that was hitting 210, 220. You're like, oh, he's prone to strikeouts, whatever. He's got a big butt, all the things that they tried to keep him from getting enough notoriety. But to me, Cal Raleigh is built for the home run derby, like Pete Alonso is built for the home run derby. Absolute massive human beings who can just withstand the grind of the rigors of what the home run derby puts them through. I know football players, basketball players are going to say, oh, baseball players are so soft. Trying to swing a bat to hit a baseball as far as you can for 2.5 minutes, 3 different times, can be grueling. What it did to Aaron Judge hasn't been back to a home run derby. He hurt his front shoulder swinging, and he completed the home run derby with that hurt front shoulder. I'm not sure exactly what he had in his shoulder, but it bothered him then in August. But then he recovered, and that September, it was his rookie year. That September, he hit 15 home runs on the way to Rookie of the Year, should have been MVP. But all that said, guys that can win it are guys that are just bigger, stronger, and they don't have to put 100% effort into what they're doing. And Pete Alonso is built the same as Cal Raleigh is built. You look at Ronald Acuna, they don't have to put in 100% effort swing. So I'm not worried about it. What I would worry about with Cal is he's catching every day. This is coming from a backup catcher. You play behind Cal Raleigh, you ain't playing. They got Mitch Garver. Mitch Garver gives them a blow like once every 7 days, and Mitch Garver's their DH a lot when lefties are out there. So it's one of those things that's what's going to get to him. It ain't going to be the home run derby. Not for Big Dumper.
All right, speaking of Big Dumper, leads me right into this question we've been waiting to ask you. Where does that nickname Big Dumper rank among all-time MLB nicknames?
I mean, right up there. There's some nicknames that we can't talk about here. You can't talk about what guys call each other on, in the locker room, on the bench, that kind of thing. It's huge. I mean, especially when we talk about this day and age when everybody's like, A-Rod, A-Gone, J-Rod, my favorite was Niger Morgan. T-Plush. T-Plush just had that aura, and people would be like, oh, Niger Morgan, he wasn't that great a player, flash in the pan. I don't care. Like T-Plush, now the only thing that knocks it is I think he gave it to himself. So I need to have a nickname that maybe you didn't give to yourself, but T-Plush, and he was always, he talked like this, Nigel Morgan, he was always had that voice, and it just mixed in with them. So it was creative. But when you have like nickname time when people aren't creative, like this one stands out for sure.
Niger was definitely ahead of the swag game, Kratzy. Like he was way ahead of the swag game with the Tony Plush, T Plush nickname.
Yep, as the kids say now, he's been swaggy. Like he was swaggy when we were in the bushes together. When he stood on business for swag. Like in the minor leagues, this guy was bouncing around, putting a man in the playoffs, get a big hit in the playoffs with the Brewers. That swag's going to go way up.
Swaggiest man in Greenville, South Carolina. I'm sure of that. Back in the day, you brought up the obviously the big Niger Morgan moment in Milwaukee. The Brewers are standing in the way of the Mets trying to get off this schneid. They got rained out yesterday, so they got a doubleheader today. Oh, congratulations, Mets! You get to face Freddie Peralta, and then in the back half of this doubleheader, lightning in a bottle, Jacob Mizorowski. What do the Mets have to do before we maybe pivot to Mizorowski and some of the stuff he's doing? What do the Mets have to do to break out of this?
You when you're in a losing 13 out of 16 stretch, you're like, rain out. Oh, thank you, Lord. What a gift. And then you have to face Freddie P and the Miz. Like, that's tough. But ultimately, what this team needs to do is throw the rock. They need to pitch. They have not pitched. And it's a prime case of I told you so when things go bad. And it's a prime case of, man, David Stearns, Caleb Cotham, they are geniuses what they've done with this pitching staff. Finding, like you said, lightning in a bottle. I would say Mizorowski's not lightning in a bottle. I would say he is that fearful lightning storm that is coming every 5 days for any opponent in the NL Central. But they're trying to catch lightning in a bottle. They've done a great job. Look what they did with Sean Manaea. Look what they did with Luis Severino. Look what they did so far this season. Like, David Peterson's done this for almost 2 seasons now. They're finding value in pitching. So when it goes bad like this, they don't need to panic. They don't need to go out there and, reinvent the wheel. They need to go back to what they were doing. And what they were doing was attacking the strike zone early and then finishing hitters before the count got back into hitters' favor. Recently, it's been nibble outside the strike zone and then try to come back in 2-1 count, 3-1 count, 1-0 count, and it's too much plate when you're behind in the count, which you have to do. The difference is before they weren't doing that. Before they were trusting their defense. Now as the season goes on, they're starting to realize this defense struggles a little bit. So maybe I got to get that strikeout. And they don't have guys that can get what I call early count strikeouts, where you're striking the dude out 0-1. You're striking the dude out, with the first pitch, and you're dominating them. You sit there and you go, oh, man, like, I'm fine if I'm at 2 strikes with some of these pitchers. And ultimately, injuries hurt. Griffin Canning was having an awesome year. He went down when he was starting to struggle a little bit, but, that's tough. You lose a guy who was giving you big innings, that's tough. You have McGill. McGill was giving you big innings early. They need to right the ship, and to me, it has to start with strike one. You see them throw strike one in this doubleheader, I might be betting the under in both games, just saying. Or you don't see strike one, I'm going to be just double-clicking on that over as the game goes on live.